Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at Japan 24 as the final major of the 2022 season, and it is incredibly stacked. It has 24 of Japan's best players, and we are going to be going over today some of the pools, how the tournament's going to work, and just the overall what's going to happen. Also, huge ups to NARU for helping with the translations for this video. Their Twitter account is super helpful if you wanted to follow Japanese speaking, but can't speak Japanese at all like me, so give them a follow. They're super helpful, and they are what made this video possible, honestly. And we'll start with Group 1 here. Probably the strongest group just because you have Akula, Ken, Umeki, Kome, Ryu, Ball. I mean, they're all incredible players, and the wild card of this group is without a doubt Ball. Because if you don't know, Ball plays K-Rule, and whenever I hear K-Rule, so the way this tournament works is there's two people that make it out in the winner's side, two people that make it out in losers, and two people that get eliminated on day one in the group stage. And for the first day, I have Akula and Ken making it out winner's side, Umeki and Kome making it out in losers, and Ryu and Ball getting eliminated on the first day. So I think these picks are pretty typical. This is basically just how the seeding goes. But the reason is I had Ken in losers initially, and then I looked at his records for Umeki and Kome, and it's like Ken rolled very good. He has a very strong record against both those players. And then Ball, it hurts my heart to put him in the red because he plays K-Rool, and God bless anyone that plays K-Rool. And he's also like incredible, probably a top 2 K-Rool in the world. I'd still give it to Kirby Kid as the best, but Ball is absolutely unreal. And I think this is a tournament where he could definitely show what he's got, because like K-Rool has some stuff. It's not like good, but he has potential, right? Like it's not impossible for him to make it out. I would be shocked. It would just prove how good Ball is. But like I'm rooting for him. But I do think he is out in losers. And then Ryu, I think is really good thing as well. He's like very good. One of the top Diddies in Japan, probably top 3 Diddy in Japan. I don't know who number 1 would be if between him, Cheki, and Etsuji, but maybe someone else I'm forgetting as well. There's a lot of very good Diddy's in Japan. I do think people have a lot of experience against the character, and I also think the matchups are great for Diddy. Like, you know, you have Sephiroth, you have Shulk. I feel like those characters do decent against Diddy at least, and then you also have Sonic for Ken, and then Akula is just like Akula at the end of the day. And Umeki, I don't actually know how Peach Diddy would go, but I don't imagine it favors Diddy super heavily. I think those are some pretty tough matchups. And then I kind of already talked about why Kobe and Umeki are losers, just because like Ken does amazing against them, and I just think Akula is going to beat both of them. But again, it's not impossible. I would honestly be more surprised if Akula or if Ken was in losers than Akula, just because of how good his record is against Umeki and Kome. It's not like free matchups there, but he just like does incredibly well against both of them. So my kind of gimme for making out winners there is going to be Ken, and then the wild card it has to be Ball. Like he plays K-Rool and he's crazy with the character. Literally anything could happen. So Group 2 is Miya, Asimo, Kameme, Futari, Shisho, and Sumo Suto. And the craziest thing about this group is there is 2 docs in it, which is unreal. You don't see docs at all in tournaments. And the fact that you have 2 of them at this insane invitational and they're in the same pool is insane. And I hope both of them make it out, but also, it's Dr. Mario. They shouldn't win a single match except maybe against each other. Like, I don't know how these players are so good with Doc. It's actually so impressive. They're probably the top 2 dogs in the world right now. Maybe Bacon is over one of them, but I wouldn't know which one to pick because they're just both amazing. And then I do have Futari as the wild card because I can't pick one doc. Like, you know, they're not the same player. Obviously, they have their own strengths and all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, Dr. Mario is a character that is fairly linear just because he kind of sucks, so you can't be super creative with him. And I think Futari is just a player that, like, in this current meta of Ice Climbers, there's a lot he can do. Like, I don't know. It feels like Ice Climbers could do no wrong now. You have Harrison doing well. Futari is obviously amazing. Big D is incredible. Like, top 20, 30 in the world probably. Anything could happen with Ices in this current meta, and honestly, I'm all here for it. I do think they get out in the loser side, though, alongside Asimo, because Kamemi and Miya, I just feel like they're just really good. I feel like they're not a step above everyone else in this group because, like, obviously everyone's incredible, especially Asimo. He's been doing very well recently. But Miya, I feel like, has really good matchups against basically everyone. And same thing with Kameme, honestly. I feel like Sora is very good against all of these characters. Now, granted, 2 of them are docs, so you should have a winning matchup for a majority of this group. But I do have Miya and Kameme. They've just been the most consistent for me. Though Miya did have a bit of a shaky tournament last week. Like, he had losses to, like, Spargo and I think, like, Gluto, so it's like, you know, he can't be feeling too bad about it. I imagine he does bounce back with a pretty good performance and get the first seed this tournament, as well as Kameme getting that second seed spot. So if you thought Group 2 was crazy, wait until you look at Group 3. We have Omatsu, Hikaru, Atorie, Kep, Tsubaki, and Higa-chan. Higa-chan plays Ganon. That's unreal. We have a Ganon in this tournament, a K-Rool, and a Dr. Mario. It's going to be amazing. This is insane. And we have Tsubaki, who is mainly an online warrior. I think he has like a 2,000 ranking or even higher on the online Japan ladder, which is very impressive. You have players like Mia, Akala, I think Yoshidora as well, being kind of like born on that ladder, showing their relevance and just like rising to the top of these super amazing players. And within 2022, I'm pretty sure Tsubaki only has one tournament, so I have high hopes for him. Even though I do have him going out on lower side because it's gonna be tough. I think he definitely can make it out into day two. He plays DK and Joker. I imagine we see the Joker, but also like I think of Hikaru, and it's like, oh, we should see the Roy, and then he just goes crazy with the DK. So it's gonna be interesting for sure. And then I have kept in the blue seat just because like I feel like he's a very consistent player, but I think he's gonna get matchup checked super hard by Mumatsu. And then I think it's honestly same thing with Atorie. I just think Atorie is really really good. Hikaru, basically the same thing as kept, honestly. Just like Omatsu and Notoria, I feel like they do very well in every matchup in this group, especially Omatsu. Omatsu is filling in for Shuton because Shuton does not want to get burnt out. He's been traveling a ton. I think he's got to like 15 majors this year, which is like insane because a lot of those are in like Europe and Japan as well. So that man deserves a break. And Omatsu is a great fill, and this matchup or the matchups in this group again is incredible for him. I think he's going to do very, very well. Same thing with Atorie. I have them both in the winner's side, and then Hikaru kept in that loser's side. Not that Tsubaki again and Higachan can't, but honestly, if Higachan could even win like one set against literally any of these players, because the matchups are so impossible for all of them, he is insane. He is the GOAT. And if there's anyone that can do it with Ganon, honestly, it's probably Higachan. He is like, he's insane. I don't know how he does it with Ganon. It boggles my bean. And finally, Group 4, we have Hito, Riziasu, Abadango, Masa, Masha, and Alice. And compared to all the other groups, it's fairly tame in the character selections. And then we also have Riziasu, and he's in the tame group, which just shows how crazy this tournament is. So if you don't know who Riziasu is, he is the best random man in the world. He plays like 10 characters at a super competitive level. And then we also have Abadango, who plays like 4 characters at a super competitive level. So there's a chance that we have Abadango versus Riziasu, and there's just like 6 characters played in that set. A pretty high chance, honestly. It's going to be super, super sick. That set is a banger. I do have Abba and Masa making out in the winner's side just because, again, I think they have really good matchups against everyone here. Abadango definitely the best matchups in the group just because, like, you know, he plays 4 characters that cover all the matchups very well. And then Masa, I think, should do very well against Hito, but, like, Hito is kind of known for making up these impossible matchups. Riziasu might be tough for him just because it is a sword, but also, like, the way Masa plays, I think, is very good against swords. Same thing with Alice because just, like, if he can beat one swordsman, he should be able to beat the other, like, in theory. Obviously, they're very different players, and it's going to be interesting, but Masa is just, like, I have a lot of faith in him. I think he's a very, very good player. And then Masha, he is still amazing. He's a very good Wolf player. Probably top 3 Wolf in Japan, maybe number 2. Atorie, I think, is number 1, but Masha is absolutely incredible. I do have, again, I think everyone in this tournament has, like, potential to take a set, do very well. I just think that, like, again, Abba and Masa matchups are really good, and then Hito is just, like, Hito's on another level. I still think he's going to make a really good run in the bracket. I just think he starts losers. Same thing with Riziasu, honestly. Riziasu is just absolutely incredible. And the wild card of this group, even though Riziasu's in it, I'm going to pick Masa just because he can either do really well against the swords or really bad. And that could shake things up a lot. But I have him betting on doing really well. Oh, so now that we have that all out of the way, we can move on to the final bracket. So unfortunately, Japan 24 does not have their final bracket out yet. So what we are going to use is this thing by ICOOKIEMONSTER on Twitter. Go give him a follow, and a link to this Google Sheet will be in the description down below if you want to make a copy to it. This is just really cool. Huge shout out to them. They put in a lot of work for this. This is just super sick. They made it for Scuff World Tour, and unfortunately, I just didn't see it before I made that video. So now we're going to use it here. And this isn't going to be exactly what the final bracket is going to look like, but it's going to be as close as we're going to get it. So please go give them a follow down below. This is just sick, and it makes it a better visual than just writing it on a Google Doc. So I have Akala versus Masa round 1, as well as Abadango Torie, Mia Ken, Omatsu Kimeme, and then losers round 1, I have Umeki Riziasu, Futari Hikaru, Kome Hito, and Asimo kept. Now, a lot of these are probably just going to be wrong, just straight up, but a couple might be pretty close. This is roughly what the bracket looks like if I get everything right. And within these matchups, I do have Akala 3 over Masa. Steve Falco seems really, really tough for Falco. I feel like you just get literally bullied off stage super, super hard, and there's nothing you can do. As well as the neutral not being super amazing. I feel like Laser isn't super good against block. So I do think Akala should take that 3-0. Abadango, same thing with Torie. I like Abadango. One of those 4 matchups is very, very good against Wolf. I don't know if it's the Pika. I don't know if it's the Palu. I don't know if it's the Samus. I don't know if it's the Meta Knight. One of those characters is bound to destroy Wolf, and I think he's going to have a very good shot. Mia Ken. Ken does play Sephiroth, but Mia is just, like, incredible. Miya is so good, and I do imagine him taking it over Ken, though I think it will be a close set. And Omatsu Kameme, Sora Mega Man or Sora and Min Min might be a tough matchup for Sora, but I feel like he like which is like his floatiness, like it allows him to avoid the arms pretty well. He can just be annoying in the air all the time, and I think he honestly has a very good shot. And I probably have him over, though I don't think it's gonna be like a blowout. I think Amatsu probably does take a game, but I think Kameme will take that overall. Then moving to loser side, Umeki Riziasu. Riziasu is literally like the god of swords. He plays like 30 sword characters all at once, so that's gonna be tough for Umeki. Like that is Peach's like big weakness. Sorry for the ad, by the way, but it's not impossible. Hikaru and Futari. It's going to be interesting because I don't know how the DK does, but I feel like the Roy will do very well. So it's just we're going to have to see who he plays. Kome and Hiro. Hiro is known for overcoming these super bad matchups, and I think he can do it versus Kome. I just feel like Hiro would be like a character, or a player rather, that is very good around the Minato arts. And then Asimo kept for our final round. It's Villager Shotos. The Shoto player should win that matchup every single time. And also Asimo is just like unreal right now. He is so good. So I do have Asimo taking that one. Round 2 of losers, I have Riziasu over Omatsu 3-0, Ken over Hikaru 3-0. It's Sonic DK or Sonic Roy even. He should win that. Hito over Torie. Again, Hito is very good at these unwinnable matchups. And Masa over Asimo. I just feel like Falco would do very good. At least, again, Masa's style of Falco is not like any other Falco I've seen. It's very patient, it's very calculated. Every single thing he does, there's not as lot like things just kind of thrown out there for like these gimme options that can be super strong. I feel like he's much more reserved than a lot of the Falco players. But then again, you know, it's Falco. That's the low bar to be reserved for a Falco player. But I still do think that playstyle will help him a lot against Shoto, and I do have him over Asimo. And then we have Riziasu versus Ken. I do think Ken does take that. Like, you know, I do think Riziasu's best swordsman, at least in my opinion, is probably Sephiroth, and Ken is very good at Sephiroth. I don't think it'll be a ditto, but I think his best character is to kind of take it off the table there. And then Sonic, I feel like, does just very well against a lot of swordsmen. And then Hito over Masa. I'm like a broken record here. Hito can beat literally any unwinnable matchup, and I don't think Masa is an exception here. Though it will be tough, it's because they're both like super good players on the up and up in Japan right now. I do think Hito will take that one. And then moving on to the winner's side, I do have Akala over Abadongo, but I do have it close just because Abadongo's got a very good Pikachu as well as a pretty good Samus, or very good Samus. And then I don't know how Palu and Meta Knight do. I mean, Luis beat Odin, and granted, two very different players, but it can be done. And then Mia over Kameme, after watching Kowloon, that's basically all the research I needed. Mia is very good at that matchup. Moving on to the loser side, Abadongo 3-1 over Ken. Kind of the same thing. I feel like Pikachu does very well against both of Ken's characters, as well as Palutena doing decent, and Meta Knight as well. I mean, in this set right here, he does win it with the Meta Knight. Kameme over Hito over Kameme. This one may be a little bit too far copium, but I think Bowser does okay against Sora. Now, once Sora players start doing like the crazy dum-dum killing you at 4% combos, then he's not going to do very good because he'll just die every single time. But as of now, where he's not dying every single time, I think he's got a pretty good shot. Maybe not 3-0 though. I'll make it 3-1, make it classy. And then Abadongo over Hito. Listen, Hito, he can win any matchup. Surely not against Palutena and Meta Knight and Samus and Pikachu. Surely one of those characters puts him in the dirt. Like, all four of those matchups are terrible. Surely one of them will do him in. And then in the winners finals, I just have Akala over Mia. I think a lot of people probably would. Akala is just very good at the Game & Watch matchup. And also Mia, just like, I don't even know if it's a tough matchup for Steve, because, you know, Meister, he beat Onin. Granted, two different players, but also Mia beat Onin, so he clearly learned something when he played Akala last. So not impossible. Maybe it won't be 3-0, but I just think Akala looked so dominant last time they played. And then Mia Abadongo, Mia just looked very dominant the last time he played Abba. And then the Grands, I think it'll be a repeat, and I think Akala will take the entire tournament. And I thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I know this video was a little more scuffed than usual because just like the bracket wasn't out yet, but I wanted to make this video because the tournament does start tomorrow night, so probably around the time I'll be uploading my video tomorrow. Sorry for the late upload on this one. I've been degenning it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know who you want to see do well in this bracket, or who you think is going to do well, and go check out this, like, the links in the description, all the people that helped make this video, even if a lot of it was indirectly. It's just like, it's super cool. These are my favorite types of videos to make. I just love talking about players, tournaments, how they can all go. Thank you guys for everything, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.